gentlemen, welcome to it.
Good morning to the folks. What up to the youngins and bless up to the world.
And then Tay just puts your info on blast like that.
It's what the people want to know, bro. My bad.
Nah, bro. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to it. It is the Morning Shake with me, your host, Xavier Hendricks, and we are officially live on the Inside Show. But today, we do not have my co-host, Mr. J. Paris, with me because we decided to go into a little bit of a deeper conversation. But as you can see from the thumbnail, and of course, you are probably anticipating this conversation, ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome our guest on the platform this morning, Mr. Ashley Koike Sauls the first.
Yes, sir.
Did I say that correctly?
You said it correctly, man.
Welcome to the show. It's
Koike.
It's Koike.
And it means I am the lion, not a lion.
The lion.
I'm the lion.
There's a difference. Honourable Ashley Sauls, welcome to the show, sir.
Hey, man, it's good to be here after so long.
It's been years.
It's been years.
Yeah, the last time we had conversations was before you got into all of the things that you are into now.
Yes, sir.
But you in quite deep. Listen, man, South Africa is going through a lot. I think let's get straight into the conversation. I know you're not a man to shy away from any controversy, from any conversations. You go jump in there head first. And of course, if you are watching on any of our social media platforms, we do have it open in front of us, and we will be able to see all your comments, all your questions, and anything and everything you want to say. The conversation is completely open, and of course, Ashley Sauls is not one to shy away from any questions. So please do drop your questions in the comment section, and we will read it in the middle of the show as we go along. We'll get into it. Do you maybe just want to greet everyone and then get into it?
Yes. Ngoinkia ahuniki. Greetings to everyone in the wonderful name of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. I'm so grateful and proud to be here in studio with you, Pastor Xavier, and looking forward to having a great discussion, truthful discussion, and hopefully the viewers and the listeners are able to get something from our discourse. I'm very excited about that. So thank you for having me. It's good to be here.
Thank you for joining and honoring the invite. So South Africa's been going through a lot, right? And I think we have all been watching almost like a soapy over this past couple of months online, on the TV. And you've been going through this thing called the ADOC committee, right?
Yeah.
Where you've been dealing with a lot of challenging conversations.
Yeah.
Maybe just take us through a little bit of how was that experience? I think it's ended now. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So how was your experience in that ADOC committee, going through that whole journey with this, with everything you had to deal with and the people you had to engage with there?
You know, I must first say that I'm very humbled that my party, the Patriotic Alliance, my president, His Excellency Clayton and the entire leadership put confidence in me. Because there was only one representative from our party based on how big your party is, your party size, that could sit on that committee. So our party had to choose one. And for my party to deploy me, that in itself, firstly, was like a humbling experience. And I want to say thank you for the confidence that was placed in me. Then I had a clear mandate from the president. He said to me, I must go there. I must not choose a side. Right? I must read the room. And I must work very hard to just find the truth. So the mandate was clear. So that's exactly what I did. Pastor X. I went there and I was diligent, worked long hours, studied the evidence, and made sure that I don't choose a side, and did my best to get to the truth or very close to the truth. It was a maze, like it was massive information and documents, and so to navigate yourself through that and then to try and get to the truth was very, very difficult. And then, of course, the guidance of God, the guidance of the Holy Spirit. I am unashamed that the the greatest thing I could ever have done during that process is depend 100% and totally on the Holy Spirit.
Now you say that, and in fact, you have a history of being a pastor as well.
Yes.
And you're very bold about your statements when you're in those kind of settings by saying, I greet you in the name of Jesus.
Yes.
How's that experience for you in a space where, perhaps saying the name of Jesus can become controversial to some people?
Yes, it's not wanted. I mean, people who watch the ADOC committee sessions would have seen that the moment I talk about a scripture or I express the name of Jesus, there's expressive onslaught against that. I mean, that should prove to you that in our country, talking about Jesus Christ, talking about your faith, standing out about your faith, is not wanted. It's not welcomed. They must say it's a constitutional country and everybody's faith. And no. When it comes
freedom of religion.
When it comes to our faith, like, for what? Tone down, turn down the volume. So I decided to go the other way. I decided to put the upper boombox, when it comes to Jesus Christ. And the reason why I did that is because, and you would notice, there would be things in the evidence that I spot that it's not on the surface level. There's things that I dig deep into. I'm not that smart. I'm definitely not that smart. There's things that the angles that I see, the dots that I connect, that can't be me. When I had the conversation with Ket Matlala, there was like a spiritual moment there. When I looked at the evidence put before me, the other parties went a different direction with him. Some even tried to paint him as a victim and all of that kind of stuff. And God, I'm telling you, it's like I had some X-ray vision at one moment to look through the stuff that was there before me. And I could sort of sense and feel an outcry from the likes of Babita Deokaran, like Abel's blood speaking from the ground. It's like I could feel her blood is speaking from the ground, calling for justice, and I felt like this burden on me to speak against this evil. And then just this moment, I felt something come on me, and I said, God has entered the ring. Yo, even me, I was like, because that wasn't scripted.
Could you feel it in that moment?
Hey. Woo, I could feel the presence of the Lord. I'm telling you, I could feel the presence of the Lord. And so in this time, in this hour, intellect has brought us where? There's nothing wrong with intellect. We study. I put in the work. I put in long hours. I didn't go there, God's going to lead me, hallelujah, and then I walk into the ADOC committee.
It's faith and works.
It's faith combined with works. I
yeah.
work hard. I am meticulous in probing the evidence. But I know that I have a limit. And where my limit, when I reach my limit, my dependency is on God. So I'm basically telling God, I did everything in my power based on the gifts you've given me, based on the intellectual capacity you've given me. Now I've reached my end. Because I tell you, the guys that does wrong, the guys that is busy with corruption, they use the law to cover up their mess. So if you're just gonna use the law,
you're gonna run into issues.
You're gonna run into issues. They might even fool you. Why was I at many times able to cut through the things that was hidden? Why? Because I didn't just depend on the law. I depend on the Lord as well. And you see, we must become unashamed about that balance.
Now, I've noticed you mentioned Babita often.
Yes.
I think even in yesterday's, you had last night you were on a different interview and you mentioned her quite a bit there. What is it about her story that tugs at your heart to the point where you keep mentioning it?
Bro, and it's so powerful that you asked that question, because when I started at the beginning, I mean, I had Jocelyn Smith in my heart. I had Nathaniel Julius in my heart. I had I think his surname is Nkosi, but there's a gentleman that was a CFO at the Ikuruleni municipality, was also killed because of him standing up against corruption in that setting. I had so many, so I had even my own cousin in my heart as a motivating factor. Etienne the preacher, Langefeld. He called himself the preacher. He's a preacher until the witch believes, you know. They stabbed him just because he said to them, tone down, because they were partying, and then they stabbed him. He was an evangelist, just preached the gospel. To date, nothing has happened with that case. So that was my drive. But out of all of these people, that name, Babita, kept on standing out, man. And like I said, there was moments where I literally felt like I can hear. I've never met her. My only engagement with Babita is the story that I was introduced to, and when I read about what has happened to her, and of course when we went into the corruption tender of 2 billion rand, not 1 million, 5 million corruption. This one that we were talking about last night is 330 million.
This is 2 billion.
2 billion. Right? So when I interrogated the evidence and I saw what this woman did, bro, that woman is a hero. Not with holes. She's a hero in a permanent hole. Her body is in a permanent hole, but she's with the Lord. And I think that God chose her life and story to stand out to me. And I felt a strong connection, I still do, to her story. But then going deeper, at the time, the information I received when I was interrogating Ket Matlala, the information I received was she was shot 12 times. And at the time she was shot, her daughter was 12 years old. Right? So that stood out to me at that time. Because of the number 12, the spiritual significance of the number 12 that speaks of a new governmental order. And in my mind, it's like God is telling me there's a shift now. When God has entered the ring, evil will no longer win. The likes of Babita and them, the whistleblowers, is going to win because God now is getting into this ring with them. It's not just us questioning them and them having to answer. That's the ring usually. No, the Lord has also entered now. He's going to expose things that you're going to say things that you don't want to say. You've prepared a script and then it will go the other way. And that's exactly what has happened. Then later on, after I found out that there's differing positions on how many bullets. Now it is said that there was 9 bullets instead of 12 bullets that she was shot. And her child was 16 at the time in grade 11. So now there's inconsistency afterwards. I'm saying to God, now, why did you make number 12 stand out for me? Now there's one thing that there's no differing opinion on, one thing that I found out. And that one thing is that 12 days before she was shot and killed, she sent her CFO, her boss, a WhatsApp warning the boss to say, these guys are going to come for us.
Oh, so she knew that something was coming.
12 days before.
So we're getting that number pops out. I want to ask
But I want to tell you something. 12 days before. Like you say, that's undisputed. There's no differing opinions on like it is. So let's say we accept 9 bullets. She was shot with 9 bullets. And 12 days is confirmed that she sent that WhatsApp to her CFO. And her CFO, the higher power, earthly higher power, did nothing. Just responded, thanks. But didn't do anything. And then she gets shot and killed in front of a yard. 12, right? Then she dies. And I believe she spoke to now her divine higher authority. And he's entered the ring on her behalf. And she's talking to us from the grave for justice. Why do I say so? Ket Matlala now is at the center of all of these things that are happening. His tender with the police, the one that he got from the police of 332 million rand, the Medicare tender, is now at the center. That one connects now the national commissioner, who must now also come answer, because he is according to the PFMA section 38, he is the accounting officer. And the question is, how is it that this guy got this tender of 332 million under your watch? He must come answer, right? How many other officers was arrested for that same tender? 12.
Back there by 12 again.
12. Now, nobody needs to understand that. No one needs to say it's true or not. But we who understand the spiritual dynamics knows that that's Babita saying. 12 arrested, I'm dealing with this thing. It's not Babita dealing with it. It is God entering the ring on her behalf, and God is making her stand out to say her blood is speaking from the ground. Last thing I want to say with regard to that, I had to question the National Commissioner on the last day. On the last day, the National Commissioner came back, and we had to question them, him and General Kwanazi. Brah, I had prepared questions. As I sat there, ready to question the National Commissioner, I hear the Lord say to me, don't question. Read Psalm 94. That's crazy. You will call me crazy. There's a time for everything. You must go do your work there. God says to me, this is your work. So I don't differentiate.
So did you end up reading Psalm 94?
I read it. Not just did I read it, Pastor Zix. I only read the scripture and said, thank you, Jay.
And you relinquished the rest of your time.
I relinquished the rest of my time.
I want to ask you a question, right? You go for it.
Remember that question you were asked there, but I want to tell you what happened.
Yeah.
I read that scripture. That scripture talks about you will no longer be able to hide behind the pride and the law and their confidence in how they use the law to protect themselves. Days after that, after reading just the scripture, didn't ask questions.
Psalm 92.
Psalm 94.
94.
There, he's going to court.
Who's a scared?
The National Commissioner.
Sure. So the whole thing is unfolding now.
And who's involved? Not me. There's no one that can come and say, I did this. What is happening? God has entered the ring. Watch with your eyes. All these people that has died because of this evil, we've reached the season that God is going to clean up this country, I'm telling you.
Now, and you're speaking about the season, a different season, and you can clearly see it in the political climate, right?
Yes.
You can see, especially with the advent of the Patriotic Alliance, you see a lot more brown people in positions of authority, a lot more brown people in positions where we haven't seen them over the past 30 years. The only one we would see, you'd see the Patricia DeLille there and there. You would see, as it relates to colored people, right?
Yes.
But now, with Patriotic Alliance, you're seeing a lot more in that main space and in that mainstream space. But also you're seeing a very different approach towards politics, a different approach towards answering different kind of questions. You're seeing a situation where back in the day, it was newspapers. It was, the Star and the Daily Sun, whatever the case might be. Your story would be in the newspaper. It would go out. Later on, people would use that newspaper to clean their windows, and that's the end of that. Now we're living in a digital age where you can go onto platforms like Instagram, Facebook, which these platforms weren't here 20 years ago, right? It's new platforms. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, all these, which is now X, all these platforms. And it's interesting to me to see that you, as member of the Patriotic Alliance, you and, of course, the President, Minister Clayton McKenzie, uses the social media platforms to engage with the Patriots, with the constituency that you are speaking to. Speak to us a little bit about how that has changed the landscape. How can you, especially the way the Patriotic Alliance is using social media now to speak to the general public outside of the the old school way would have been, mainstream media.
Yes, and I want to say thank you firstly for recognizing the fact that politically it is the Patriotic Alliance that came to change the landscape for especially the classified colored people. And we are unapologetic about taking the credit for that. And the fact that it is visible and that it is acknowledged, I want to say thank you for that. And also with that emphasize that indeed our aim is to say we want to break marginalization and bring the classified colored also at the table equally, not exclusively. Our approach is inclusivity. We're saying include us, right? But we are not only for colored people. We are not a colored party. We are a colorful party. So we are for all South Africans. But we are saying you can't say all lives matter until colored people are part of all. Right? Mm-hmm. And I'm glad that now we see that there is that gradual turn, and it's because of the Patriotic Alliance. And that group of people, our people, the classified colored race, has become tired of politics. Didn't even want to participate in politics. So wherever politics was spoken about, usually in the newspapers, on television, etc., it was a few people in our race group that was watching these things and that was knowledgeable about politics. So now the approach was from our president, a master strategist. Let me tell you, master strategist. God has trained him in prison. God has trained him in his life experience to be able to do what he's doing now in leading our party. And with that ability, he's like, how do we get our people, one, active, and how do we educate them around politics? Where are they mostly? On social media, right? And so that platform obviously was exploited by us to say, let's talk to our people and in the way that our people understand. Then that evolved, Pastor Zex, into something bigger. It then became also not just a platform for educating our people, but also it became some sort of a shield for us against propaganda. Because the people that they want to stop believing in us,
to influence
them to stop, they need to use social media to do that. Because they then figured out you can't use e-news to do that. You can't use News 24 to do that, because that's not mostly where they are. So you need to now get onto social media. Now they started paying influencers. They started using our own against us to then saturate social media with these lies. But thankfully, a shield has already been, our social media platform has evolved into this shield where we now can, from an independent place, say, don't listen to those people. Now everyone is waiting for Prez's live to say, okay, we heard what the news said, we heard what they are spreading on TikTok, but we'll wait for come up.
For the live.
So what has that done now? That has now given us the ability to be able to give our version independently and not depend on the media who themselves are captured. They choose a narrative, they choose propaganda, and then when their masters tell them, go against this one, you can see that they are doing it even now. But now we have a shield for ourselves that we are able then to engage truthfully. And guess what? Even they come to the Como sessions.
Oh, they come to listen.
Yes.
But now with the Como sessions, right? There was a recent session that Minister Gayton McKenzie went live with.
Yeah.
And there were some things that he said there, and one of the things that he mentioned there was something that caught the attention of other parliamentary members.
Yeah.
Also caught the attention of other, parties.
Yeah.
And one of the things that he particularly mentioned there was he said that I have security and I have guards outside my house.
Yeah.
And that phrase was taken,
yeah,
and it was taken as a threat.
Yeah.
did Minister Gayton McKenzie indeed threaten members from different parties in that particular statement that was made there on that live? In fact, I was watching that live while it was happening, and the next day I saw that it was actually taken as a threat. Was he threatening? And in particular, he was actually speaking in context, if I can understand the context.
He was speaking about Darrell
He was speaking about Darrell James, yeah. So was he threatening a life in that particular statement that he made there?
No. Absolutely not. But it suited a narrative that the propagandist wanted to push against President Gayton McKenzie. Why would it stick? You see, propaganda. You must use deception. So deception is speaking the truth untruthfully. So the truth is he has a criminal past. But now you use a threat. He threatened, so it will stick because it is true that he has a criminal past. But did he threaten her now? Even though it's a lie, but it will stick in the minds of people because they'll be like,
he is my
he
criminal.
is my criminal. Once a criminal, always a criminal. So they create this narrative, and then they need to have an innocent character who doesn't have that history, now becomes the victim. And then they use Darrell James to be the victim. And she accepted the role. She plays it very well. Right? So now she plays victim. I mean, even with tears. He threatened me. And then they go to social media. Now let's unpack what they call a threat. He used two things. He said, the patas lank. Now you and I, in our communities, colored people, classified colored people, I'm Busman, classified as colored. As Busman people that are classified as colored, what do we usually say when we say we patas lank? We are basically saying,
if you tell me the patas lank, I understand that the journey is long. There's a lot that can happen on this journey. There's ups and downs on this journey. That's usually what somebody would say if they say the
or in normal terms, what you sow you will reap. What goes around comes around, right? That's number one. The other thing that they used to say that it's a threat is the fact that he said, I've got 24-hour security. Now the thing with doing a live, unlike when you are on TV and doing a formal interview, on a live, you are talking informally. So certain things you are not going to, when you talk, when you do a live, there are certain things that you're not going to finish a sentence. You're going to stop halfway when you think about something else. You so much jump to that thing. Because it's a live. It's not like what we're having now. Here I have to finish a sentence. I don't have the freedom to just jump from one thing to another thing. Let's complete the one point and go to another point. But on a live, you know the experience. As you know, it's a. And Jambi someone it's understood. It's proud fan.
Or you read a comment in the comment section and you answer it there.
Exactly. And he reads comments and sometimes he talks and whatever. Now, we know how our president is because he was talking to us. So number one, the patas lang, we can confirm as classified colored people, that is not a threat when you say the patas lang for iemand. You are actually cautioning that person and say, watch your actions because this thing that you are sowing, it will return to you. Then when he mentioned the security thing, when they saw that patas lang is not really going to work, it's not going to stick, they then used, why did you say you have 24-hour security? Then the media even added a piece to that sentence to say, he said, I have 24-hour security. My security is always with me. And then they added a piece that said, and he said, and you don't. Right?
But did he say that?
No. They wanted it to look like he is saying, I have security. That's how they wanted to paint it. What did he actually want to say? What did he actually say with that? He was saying, I've got 24-hour security. Who verkoop drugs? Who deal ek in drugs? Dan moet die security wat ek het 24 hours. Hulle sien me dan 24 hours. As either dan they are involved. That's if he had to expand on it, that's what he wanted to say. Now, if you want me to prove to you that Darrell James did not feel threatened, Let's say you can still challenge, it's now afterwards you came and you changed what he said. Let's say you want to do that. But then let's deal with facts. Nah? This is what must be put to Darrell James. Because now you must feel threatened. Right? That he wanted to do something to you and he got angry because she said the reason why he threatened her is because she exposed misuse of public funds in his department because she was questioning that. Right? Now let her come and say that if that's what he was about and he came thereafter and do the live, then she must answer the following. Number one, when she said he wanted to do that, it was a lie that he misused public funds, because on the record, the Portfolio Committee of Sports came back and apologized to him because they sent all the documents and the Portfolio Committee did not compile it all together, but the department produced transparently everything that they used. So then on the record, they came back and
there's no inconsistency.
No inconsistency on his part. So now she says for that reason, he has something out for her. How could he when it's then on the record they apologized? Right? The second thing she must be asked is right after that, before the live, but right after that, if she felt threatened, we went to the House, the National Assembly. We had a sitting. After that, I, with my own eyes, was there. I think it was on the 24th of February or something like that. Hey, you see dates. We must deal with dates properly. Nah, I will get the date for you. Coffee. Yeah, whilst you bring me coffee. Thank you, my brother. Thank you so much. Nah.
While Ashley just
I don't want to do what she did the other day.
Please, in the comment section, guys, please do ask any question. If it's difficult, let it be difficult. It is what it is. Ash will deal with it. But yeah, are you looking for the date?
And this happened to her the other day. She was in ENCA, nah? And then she said something. Somebody sent her a WhatsApp, Darrell, and then she started crying. Nah? And then she said she will. So the interviewer said to her, "Get us the message." And then she says, "Like, I'm looking at my phone, but because my eyes are theory, she can't see properly." And then the interviewer says to her, "I'll give you a few minutes." When the interviewer came back, "Where's the message?" She still couldn't find the message. See the act for the cameras. Man, I'm going to find you the message.
Are you going to find the message?
To get the date. Right? On when it is that she did this.
While you're finding the date, Llewellyn says, but let me just say, Llewellyn says, "Good morning, Honourable Ashley Sauls." And then, of course, we have Sybil Scholes also saying, "Good morning, Pastor. Good morning, Ombiza."
Maar Ombiza is vandaag gemaakt. Eet nog sommige kom ik terug een keer naar zin. Maar
koffie.
Ik drink al het iets erin gegooid. Wat is alleen gegooid, Pastor?
And then Kola is also saying, "Good morning, Pastor Zakes. Good morning, Honourable Sauls." And so, yeah, we got Nathan also. Jabba boy, he's saying, "Good morning, gentlemen."
Oh, Jabba, I'm praying for you.
I'm praying for you. and then Kola is also saying, "It's important to be mindful of our words when speaking on public platforms, whether it's a live, a post, or an interview. Yes. What is said publicly carries weight, and it has a real impact on people's lives." So she's probably speaking about when we touched on the matter of what Minister Mackenzie was saying there. So did you find the message?
Yes, I did. Because remember, I'm looking for the date. So it was on the 25th of February.
2026.
2026, right? If she felt threatened, not by the Facebook Live, because the Facebook Live came after, but remember, the reason why she says he threatened her is because she exposed the misuse of public funds. So he's angry with that, and now he has his in inverted commas, everybody, his guns out for her. Because his protectors works with guns. His guns out for in inverted commas. Now, if she felt threatened, why on the 25th of February after the National Assembly sitting, why did she laugh joyfully, and even asked for a picture from him. So when the cameras are not
From
there,
Minister Mackenzie.
yes, from Minister Mackenzie, Darrelline James, Honourable Darrelline James, asked for a photo. And a photo, and they laughed. And you do that to someone that you feel threatened by.
Is that the fact?
I can prove it.
The fact that she wanted a picture.
Absolutely. One, I'm a witness, and I've got the proof. It's here on my phone.
The picture that was taken on the day.
Yes, sir. And she also has it on her phone. She also has it.
And that's after the live.
No.
Before the live.
Before the live. Now, I'm trying to say, if you felt threatened, because she says the reason why he made the threat is because she's exposing the misuse of funds, how he used the funds in the Ministry of Sport. So we know, one, it wasn't a misuse of funds. They confirmed it. So they lied about President Mackenzie. Now, from that time, she should have felt threatened. Why did she come and have like she expresses a loving relationship, on a social level with him. She doesn't feel threatened. They hug each other, ons lag, they're greeting each other, they what. Now, a statement on Facebook afterwards makes her feel
Threatened.
words that can be misinterpreted, makes her feel, she's convinced, my life is now under threat. But when you're in person with the person, you didn't feel threatened. Do you get what I'm saying?
I hear you.
Words on a Facebook Live and being in person before that doesn't make you feel, which one you should, in his presence, you should feel, hey, Diana, he has it out for me. When you ask for a picture, why didn't she feel nothing?
But then some might argue that picture was before the perceived threat.
That's exactly the point. Zex, here we are with you now. Now I go, look how we are here. I'm trying to say the fallacy of this. What are you going to say if I now go after this, I go on a live?
And say,
or you go on a live after this, after us now being like this. Then you go on a live. You say something and I then go and interpret what you say as a threat. What are you going to say? The first thing you're going to say, donkey. Thank you. So let's not pretend like it requires science here. Just logic in terms of relationship. You can say, how can you misconstrue what I said to be a threat? That's the point I'm making.
We got Edwina saying you're reading selective messages here.
Which selective message? Or you? You or
probably you, Edwina, who is speaking about this reading selective messages?
I'm assuming she's saying you are just reading other people and not.
Oh, I see. You
see how you can misinterpret people. Now she threatened me, but yet she's talking about you. You see how quickly it is to misconstrue what people are saying.
Edwina saying you make it sound like a colored party. Apologies there, Edwina. That wasn't intentional to miss that message. It was just on top of Kola's message. She says you make it sound like a colored party.
Who?
Edwina.
She's saying I make.
That was before she said I'm reading selective. If she's saying that it's me reading selective messages, I apologize for that if that is the case. But
no, then she is saying you are reading. I'm assuming she is saying that you are, because she's saying she's maybe saying
that I missed that message.
You
I apologize.
Intentionally.
No. I apologize for missing that message. I now read it. It says you're making it sound like a colored party. That's the message I missed. Apologies for that.
Now, number one, I just proved the point there even. You now have the opportunity to say to Edwina, né? Is her name Edwina? You have the opportunity now to say to her, no. I missed that.
But I'll read it now.
But from where she's sitting,
I left it out purposely.
You looked and you saw the comment, because it was about colored party, you then jumped it intentionally and you selected other people. She's convinced that that's what you did. Was she right?
No, because then I read it either way.
Now, why is the whole world thinking Darrelline is right? Why doesn't Gayton Mackenzie have the privilege to do what you just did and say, no, that's not correct. This is what I meant, and then you must believe what he meant. on her actual comment, I don't know if she's saying you making it sound like a colored party or I'm making it sound like a colored party.
I think she's saying you making it sound like a colored party.
Well, Edwina, watch for how you hear. Because how you hear is not what I say. When I say we are focused on ensuring that colors get included, it doesn't mean that we are saying we are a colored party. Then Edwina, don't just look at what it sounds like. Go look at what we do. Look at our leadership makeup. We have a deputy president who is a black African. We have, apart from the different races that we have represented within our party, let's talk about just something that must convince you immediately. The Patriotic Alliance is founded, the three founders, the beginning of this party, is founded by a colored man, a black man, and a white man. Gayton McKenzie, Kenny Kunene, and Charles Cilliers. No other party has its foundation
Mixed like that.
mixed like that. No party. We are the only party that in our foundation, and all three of them are still part of our party. Now tell me, do you think they're going to sit there as founders of the party and they see
And push one
this is a
agenda.
colored party? They're gonna keep quiet about that. So for the record, we are not a colored party. We are a colorful party.
So there's some other conversations happening here, and before I read this next comment, right? And I said, guys, you can ask anything. Ashley's not afraid to answer anything. I'm not afraid to apologize to Edwina. She says my apologies accepted. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Edwina. You're so sweet. I wish the whole country was like Edwina, you know that. If the whole country just had the attitude of Edwina to say, I believe what you are saying, that was what you meant. When Gayton McKenzie comes and says, I did not mean what you are saying, I meant.
They still don't accept it.
They still don't accept it. Why? They want Gayton McKenzie to be the one who's in the wrong.
Neil Christians is saying, Dankie, Pastor Ash.
That's a groot
For the
pastor van
amazing work,
Christmas.
for the amazing work you are doing in the community and for our people. We truly appreciate your heart and your dedication. So I'm gonna get into some of the other comments, but before I get
No, but we must pause for. You see, we must celebrate each other, my
no,
brother.
definitely. But I just want to give them a taster of what we're gonna speak about after this. It's that recording, right? Because we have to get into a little bit of that recording. But go to Neil Christians.
Yes, let's pause and celebrate the man.
Okay.
Come and tell you why I celebrate him and why I want to say thank you. There's Pastor Neil Christians. He's leading a church in Klipspruit West, one of the most difficult communities that you can find, and he is using his gift to serve the community there through the gospel of Jesus Christ. And he's not just a pastor. The man is a prolific, a brilliant, astute architect. Spiel. He's not drawing zozos. No. He is, Mall of Africa. Do you know that he was one of the architects
Involved with the design.
of Mall of Africa? That's
Well
the
done.
quality of
Well done.
people we have.
Well
So
done,
let's
well
celebrate
done,
him
well
for
done.
that.
Well done, Pastor Neil Christians.
And what I want to even more celebrate him for, do you know what? Which is going to shock everybody. And which I want to thank him for. No, baby. Oh, you didn't say my... She's here.
We have another guest in the studio, but she's not on camera.
Yes. But she gives me courage.
Yeah, she's
Makes
here
me
for
the lion.
support.
So that Yumna can confirm. My mother is a member of Pastor Neil's church. She's his pastor.
Come on.
And when I measure the spiritual diet and health of my mother, I want to say thank you to him. He's pastoring my mom. They're looking after my mom. They visit my mom. So Pastor Neil Christians, I thank you, my brother. I'm not around for months and months and months. I don't see my mother, and my mother is my cherished gem, the love of my heart. And to know that her spiritual life is being fed by you, I want to say thank you, my brother. I genuinely love and appreciate you for that.
Nah. Since we got now the love out of the way, because we're gonna get into some difficult. Al Moodley says it boggles my mind why Ashley goes so hard for Gayton. I no longer trust the Patriotic Alliance. Then she follows it up by saying, I'm starting to believe the allegations. being made against him.
That's why it's allegations. You see, I love the fact that she uses the word allegations, and she is more than welcome to believe the lie. If you're comfortable with believing lies, you can believe it. No one can stop you from believing lies. I can't arrest you for believing lies. But as for me, I am unapologetic about Gayton McKenzie, and I want us to talk about later why, when we have the time. Talk about my experience in life and what I've seen spending time with him every single day. He's not a saint. He's not perfect, but he is not what the media wants to make him look like he is. That's a lie. That thing that she believes is a lie. Now you want me to sit here knowing that it's a lie, knowing the plans that they have to make people like her believe what she's believing. I must keep quiet. I must sit here and I must not come up for him. No. You must, if you are a witness, what must witnesses do?
You must testify.
The reason why drug lords and those people are not jailed today is because witnesses are not saying anything. Right? Now I'm a witness that I see daily, consistently of this man's life. I must keep quiet because I must please someone that doesn't see him. But it's well in her rights. Let's encourage her, man. Believe the lie that the media is pushing, that his enemies are pushing. You are more than welcome to believe it. But as for me, I will frustrate you even more. Every time you watch me, I'm going to say this thing I'm saying. I'm going to be a living witness of the truth I see about Gayton McKenzie unapologetically. For me. I'm still here. We're still here on the show. For the rest of the show, you'll still hear me say the same thing. So you have one of two options. Now that you believe it's a lie, druk die knoppie and change the channel. Because you're going to hear me more talking about what I've witnessed about Gayton McKenzie.
So Llewellyn says, I'm not a member of any political party. And as an objective outsider, but still a voter, the focus on the inverted commas colored inclusion, that doesn't mean everyone else is being excluded. Then Nicole says,
yes, he's right.
That's why face-to-face engagement matters. It allows the real conversation and clarifies before things are taken to public platforms where they can be misconstrued. Then, of course, El Moodley, again, the same lady that says she doesn't understand why you ride so hard for Gayton. Then she agrees with Llewellyn's comment that says it doesn't mean everyone else is excluded. But there's now the comment section seems to be opening. While you are commenting, also just like the video.
Subscribe.
And subscribe to the channel as well.
You know why they must subscribe, and we must thank you, must clap for you. Because if you did not create platforms like this, we would also not have an opportunity to come and say our side freely. Because even though we go on these other platforms, they don't give us the kind of freedom you give us. They are not as neutral as you are. They also have an agenda. You see, you don't have an agenda. You give me the opportunity, and others that wants to challenge what I said here can also come, and they can. So people must build this platform. They must subscribe. They must tell their friends and their neighbors to subscribe. Because this is the only kind of platforms we have to come and speak freely. And I want to celebrate you for that. Because there's no other platform. So we must push this platform. We must build this platform so that you are able then also to call. You must be able to call Heidi here and ask Heidi, where did you get permission to go and interview for 20 minutes? You see, us as MPs, when we go to ENCA, we get a maximum of 7 minutes. A prisoner gets 20 minutes without permission from correctional services. ENCA did something illegal just because they wanted to paint Gayton McKenzie as bad.
Which brings us to
you must get Heidi here. She must come and answer. She must come and ask, because ENCA is not going to do it. Let her come here and answer. Why did she do that? Why did she do something illegal?
You're now referring to the interview with Jermaine Prum?
Yes.
That is currently incarcerated.
Yes.
And
he's a fraudster, he's a criminal.
Some way he has a cell phone inside the prison. And NCA did an interview with him. That's the one you're referring to right now.
And not just an interview, they gave him 20 minutes airtime. That must show the world how committed they are to push an agenda to make Gayton McKenzie look bad. That they will give someone he's not credible 20 minutes.
So which brings us to the point of the highly publicized and viral recording that has made the rounds, I think, over the past 2 weeks. I'm seeing in the comment section people were saying it came out in 2022.
Yes.
Some people are saying it's been manipulated. Some people are claiming artificial intelligence is involved.
Yes.
So there's a lot going on in that conversation as well.
Yes.
From a neutral standpoint, without taking any sides, I'm asking you now. You're sitting in front of me right
Yes.
now, and the platform is open to anyone else, including Pastor Kurt van Heerden, including
Yes.
Honourable James, including whoever's involved within that recording. Darlene James is not involved in that recording particularly, but I know Pastor Kurt van Heerden and of course one of the Patriotic Alliance members, also part of the membership and part of the team that you are a part of. That is, why am I missing the name now? Councillor Joera Caldine. Yes, that's on the recording as well. What statement would you make based on that recording there?
On the details of the recording, she's going to do her own documentary or expose. So I'm not going to delve deep into it. I'm going to leave her to do that. And she's going to come with receipts on the recording, on
the validity of the recording and all that.
But also on what has transpired with Jermaine Prim, Darlene James, and everything. She's going to do all of that. So I don't want to spoil it. I want people to look out for that. Let her come, and she's going to do that. I am very open for us to deal with different angles that is not seen on that particular thing. I want us to delve into.
I want to delve into it because I
want to say that as a member of our party, what she says, we stand with what she says. And she says to us that is not her voice on there. So that's the position that we take. Right? If you say that to me, I believe you. Yes? Pastor Kurt says the opposite, Prom says the opposite. They must show it and do it officially.
So if Pastor Kurt then shows evidence, whichever way he chooses to show the evidence. I mean, you've been now with the commission dealing with a lot of evidence.
Yes.
I'm sure you're well astute and versed in being able to see when something is legitimate or not.
Yes.
If he now comes and says, this is the evidence, this is the reality of the matter, would you then be willing to look at that, or what's your stance?
Yes. Now we must be clear what evidence is, because remember, I can, as what the emphasis is that the recording is manipulated, right? So if you have evidence of that it's not, who determines that you have not manipulated whatever you are bringing to us? So there's laws for that, right? So SAPS has to test that thing, has to investigate.
Is there a way to check
yes,
this?
To now say, oh, this that Kurt van Heerden is bringing, this that Joera is saying, we've tested this using the methods that we do, and then we confirm
that it is
that
indeed.
This is indeed. So for now, what do we have? We have Joera, and we side with Joera, clearly, Councillor Joera. She says, it's not. Then Kurt says, Darlene says, Prim says, now you say, all right, they take it, let them investigate, let them do whatever, let them come and say, no, this recording is actually authentic or not.
In the event.
So that's, but I want to tell you also, why does it make sense to us? And why do we stand with Councillor Joera? Not just because she is a member of our party, but also logic. The first thing, if you say, my voice has been manipulated, who did it? Jermaine Prim, he's in prison right now. One of the reasons he's there It's because he's manipulated the voice using the software that he has of the NDPP in this country, the National Director of Public Prosecutions. He manipulated his voice, gave commands to the subordinates of the actual NDPP, and those subordinates was convinced is the voice of the NDPP. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's not like when Councillor Joera says this, that it's not possible. It's been done. And it's public record. Go and Google, did he manipulate the voice of the NDPP? It's public record. Right? So there's credence to what she is saying until proven otherwise. Do you get what I'm saying? So it is on that basis that we say this to you, that it is clear that he's done it before. So there's a possibility that he's done this here again. Why is it now something that you find unbelievable? It cannot be that he's manipulated it in this instance.
I want to do something interesting, Clayton. If you can, perhaps. I want to see because I'm seeing people commenting now on this thing, right? If you can put up a poll on the chat, because now I can see here again, Almudli is saying it's 3 against 1. I believe the 3 and not the 1, right? Then Angelo is saying, so it's moving up quickly. Yeah,
it's 3 against 1.
2 years ago, today, we took a picture together. Oh, I don't know. That's probably a picture he took with you, Angel. I don't know.
All right.
Anyway,
she says 3. Listen to the criteria that people uses when it comes to us. Are you hearing what I'm saying?
I'm listening to you. I'm listening.
But I want you to focus on this. Just check the hypocrisy of our people. The criteria they use to determine, not everyone, we must just be clear, not everyone. People like this, the person that says it's 3 against 1, I believe the 3. Ne? Look at the criteria that is used when it comes to us. Because the majority is lying, it cannot be a lie. That's the criteria for us. Is that fair? Why not call for the possibility that the 1 can be true? You ignoring the fact that we are saying to you that this person that's part of the 3 has done this before with a National Director of Public Prosecutions. That doesn't matter now. Because it's 3 against 1.
So Clay, put up the poll now.
And why don't they
see the response?
And why don't you use the same approach when it comes to the opposite? It's me. It's the whole PA that says Gayton McKenzie did not threaten Darrell-Lynn James. I'm trying to say, be consistent. Don't be hypocritical. Now it's 3 against just Darrell-Lynn. Why don't you use that same criteria to say we now believe Gayton? Why? Because, come I tell you why, Zix? Because people like that, they deeply desire in their hearts that it must be true. When someone believes a lie so much that they want it to be true, they naturally going to go with anybody that supports the lie that they believe. Does that make it the truth? Doesn't make it the truth.
Edwina's asking, how do you believe her without investigating it first, right? Then she continues to say, not proven at all, truth or not, after making such serious allegations against your party. So that's again, Edwina.
Who made the allegations
in this conversation?
Edwina must ask who is making the allegations, and then if they make the allegations, Edwina, if she's fair, there's a rule in law, Zakes. The rule is he who alleges must prove. If Edwina is so angelic in her assessment, why doesn't she call for the onus and the burden of proof to not be on us? Legitimize the claim.
Sure.
But Joera, as you saw, President Mackenzie in his life, he clarified a lot of things. But people like Edwina and them, he can do an hour live. She's still not going to believe him. So I encourage people to go on the live also and go and listen to last night's live. He unpacks how he met Jermaine Prim telephonically. He never met him in person. He clarifies the issues of his mother and how all of that happened. So go get answers there too. So we are doing our bit. For you to believe us, it's up to you. But show the same energy to the ones that you've already chosen a side to. You are not neutral. Edwina is not neutral. She's chosen a side. And her comments now is to defend her side. It's hard. It's hard for her to listen to me because she's chosen a side, which is okay. But if you've chosen a side, still be objective and question your side.
Bro. Clayton, is there any results for the poll? I don't know.
We must continue to talk.
Yeah, we'll talk, but I want to see, because I can't see if there's results here on the poll or not. But again, so if it is that
but she will do her thing, Councillor Caldine. I wish I could. I'm tempted to delve deeper into it, but she will, because it is something that is what her experience was. People like Edwina and them is not even thinking about a mother that has children, a young person that comes from a history of drugs and has been voted for by a 2/3 majority of Ward 18 in El Dorado Park. The first time our people stood up and said we're going to choose our own against the DA, against all the other parties, against the ANC, they chose their own. For the first time we made history, this young girl. Instead of celebrating that,
what?
They want her
Jay,
to
please
fall.
can you come in here, bro? What are you saying? 50-50. 50-50 the poll.
no, Jay is lying. Our people are supporting the right thing. It's 60-40. Edwina and them is in the minority.
He's saying the poll is 50-50.
It's
Did
not
you end the poll?
50-50.
Oh, you were supposed to leave it on.
Yeah, leave it until the end of the show.
Leave it on, bro. Let's see what the people say. He's saying it's 50-50.
Zegs, leave your team to do the poll until the end of the show.
Yeah,
Then-
guys, leave the poll on.
Then we focus on, because this is very important. The people that are watching, they must do introspection. A young classified colored child who was hooked in drugs. The Patriotic Alliance took this child, believed in her. Do you know what the campaign of the DA was at the time, and Action SA at the time when she stood for councillor? She's a drug addict. They went on radio and said she's a drug addict. She can't serve our community. Young girl. At the time, she was younger. Not married at the time. They spoke down on her. The Patriotic Alliance looked at her and said, this one's a cunt. We believe in you. The Patriotic Alliance didn't say you have a history of drug addiction, you have a history of what? They said, we're going to give our own a chance. Few years down the line, she's now even called Cookie Lion from Eldos because she's become a national phenomenon. What would have happened if the Patriotic Alliance believed the propaganda against her? Let's be logical about this. What would have happened if the Patriotic Alliance believed the DA, believed Action SA that time, and not put her as candidate for ward councillor? What if the 2/3 majority who voted for her child believed the DA then and put someone which they because the DA and others are very good at creating a beautiful picture of people. Huh? Like their president. You look at Steenhuisen, nice suit, nice tie, nice what. They have the ability to paint them as the perfect figures. Just to come find, used party money to do Uber Eats orders. With party money.
Why?
No, let's stop there.
Yeah.
Let me deal with that thing.
Oh, he was buying Uber Eats with the money. With party money.
With party money. And not small amount. He orders using the party funds. Why did they bring it out as a party? Why did they leak it? It would never have leaked if the party didn't had it out for Steenhuisen.
So they're trying to get rid of Steenhuisen.
Clearly, as you can see.
So now they're starting to leak all his
Making
put his
him
dirty laundry outside there now.
Would they have done it before? Because they very good at giving you a beautiful picture of people with blonde hair, light skin, and what. And when they paint us like they want to paint Gayton McKenzie. Gayton McKenzie, because of his colored, because of where he comes from, because of his past, he must have stolen money in Beaufort. He didn't build toilets, but he built toilets. Then our people believes what they say about it. Same with Juera. She was raw. She was just a young girl, addicted to drugs at the time many years ago. But what our community in El Dorado Park did, they made history. They said, "Seva julle wil. Dis ons kind. Ons gaan ons kind kans gee." They voted for her. She didn't sleep with anybody to get that position. El Dorado Park said no to DA. They said no to Action SA. They said yes to PA. A young girl that doesn't have political experience, El Dorado Park had foresight. They did something so prophetic. They broke the brass ceiling for us as a people when they voted for Juera that day. They didn't just give her 50%. It wasn't 50-50 between DA and PA.
It was a landslide.
She got 7,000 odd votes, bruh. She got 2/3 majority. You know what that means? That means DA, ANC, EFF, and all the other parties, ACDP and all of them, put together. Their votes put together was not enough to beat Juera. Who did that? El Dorado Park. Now, I want to show you something that's very powerful that you must see and everybody else. Do you know why they're attacking Gayton McKenzie the way they're doing? Because they're afraid that same thing that Eldos did can happen in the country nationally. Because for years, they used the vote of the classified colors. For years, they used us. And they brought us down after using us. They marginalized us. They threw our CVs in the dustbin after using us for votes. The DA, the ANC, all of them. Now, as they look at the by-elections and classified colored people all over the country, in Noordgesig, from Noordgesig to different places in the Western Cape, to Ekurhuleni, to Ennerdale, they see the rise of the Bushman. They say, we've got to stop this. How do you stop it? Divide them. Jan van Riebeck is not on your thing here now. Mariki van Niekerk. Look there if there's Mariki van Niekerk there. There's no Mariki van Niekerk here. There's no Sibusiso here.
It's just us.
Who is the ones talking against us? Our own. Do you know this is historic? Do you know that that's the curse upon us as a people? Eldos broke that curse by a landslide. Do you know, if you look into our history as the Bushman, Do you know the word Khoisan as one word, Khoisan, was given by a man with the surname Sulsha. This guy took our forefathers and did testing on them. He cut their heads off. Cut it off. It was gruesome.
I'm familiar with it.
Sleg die goed.
They use it as trophies even there.
I cry when I read our history. Breaks me. You know why I fight like that there? Because when I was exposed to what they really did to us, breaks me to the core. These people. Do you know what she told me? She says, you don't call yourself Khoisan. My granny, she's not educated. She's Bushman. You'll find out soon who she is. Because now I'm ready, after 2 years, to reveal. I took 2 years. They criticized me, say you are not Bushman, you're just trying to. Now I'm going to reveal my lineage.
Do you have a line?
Yes.
A clean line that connects there.
My brother. You see, even you are struggling to believe the Bushman.
No, I'm asking.
Eh?
For the sake of clarity.
I just told you shouldn't have asked, do you believe? Do you have? I'm then telling you I have, you should believe me. And you know I won't say something that I can't back. So I say to her, my granny says to me, you are not Khoisan. You are son. She's 90, she's 92. She's 92. Did she read the history books that I'm reading?
Most likely not.
She didn't. How does she know?
She was there.
She knows what Schulze and them did. She knows what they did to take our identity. Do you know what it's like to sit and listen to this stuff? So he coined it. The term that we even use now as Khoisan is a term given by a white man, just like the term colored.
But they said it's a mixture of the San and the Khoi. They just put in the same bottle.
Yes. Now, when you say that they just put in the bottle, I'm asking you, who's they?
They is the gentleman you're mentioning there.
Thank you. That's what we're dealing with. The they is the same
white man.
oppressors that gave us the name colored is the same oppressors that gave us the name Khoisan. So when we say Khoisan, what do you think the oppressor is doing? He's happy. He says they think they are now talking their freedom. They are still using what we gave them. Now, why do they hate me? Because I come and I say, I'm son. And if you say, instead of saying Khoi, you must say Kwe or Ku. They don't want that because that's who we called ourselves.
Is that the original?
Yes. Khoe or Kwhe. That's the Khoi part. Then there's us, son, Bushman. They wanted us to believe Bushman is a derogatory term, Bushman. No, it means son.
It means the man of the bush, which is what we were.
Not even the man of the bush. Where's the bush in the desert? They used that to make us look like we are not civilized. No, but we had civilized apparatus. We drew. We had messages. We knew our people were scientific.
You know, our cattle stretched from the Cape Point all the way into Botswana.
And further.
And further, yeah.
They call it the Toa triangle and circle. It goes from here, from the south, from where we are, right up to Tanzania. Do you know that the sun, there's tribes in Tanzania that has linguistic and genetic links with us as the San people. That's the reason why they don't want to recognize us. Do you know why? Because they try to de-Africanize us.
In our own hometown.
In our own, as country. A continent, not just South Africa. Now
not just even a SADC.
Exactly. Do you see the power that they are afraid of? And they're thinking, if these people start talking one language,
it's trouble.
So what do? They set us up. They take faces that looks like us to make these false claims against us, so you would trust them, so that you destroy what we are building here.
But how would you feel?
I still wanted to make the point of the reason why the San people is still aggravated. It's because those years they used the koi to help kill the sun. So they used our own against our own.
Not much has changed there.
History repeats itself today.
Apartheid used to call it divide and conquer.
Divide and conquer. And then take our identity. Do you know why they removed our identity? Why they are happy that we are confused? Because when you take the name and the identity of somebody, you also take their land, because your name is attached to geography. You can't say I am when you don't say from where. So if you can't say I am, you can't say from where. So they've kept us in that psychological cage for years. When I ask you, who are you? If you can't say I am, you can't say from where. Now that we're coming out of that cage, we are also in parliament where they write the policies for us and we say, what policy is this? What is this? When we look at what the Department of Labor and others are doing and we stop there, we say, how many colors is here? How many Indians is here? Where were we before? Were we there? Instead of stand up and say, finally, they make you think you can't trust them. You've been calling for hope. But you know what our people's problem is? We don't want hope to look like us.
Yo, Ash, I think we've reached our time limit.
Hi, man. He's a boss.
We've reached our time limit. But I want to ask you, I was going to ask you what makes you so passionate to stand for this thing. But I think you articulated it well now. Unless you wanna add something else to it, because you become very passionate about the reason why we shouldn't stand against one another. I also want to extend that question then by saying, what would your heart then be if indeed there are other leaders like us that perhaps are sitting on the other side of the fence at the moment, or are kind of not necessarily part of the Patriotic Alliance at the moment? What would your message be to them? Because I can tell you, and the people that I know that are strong, that are leaders, that can add value to the conversation. What would your message be to people like that?
Let's not lie about each other. That's the first thing. And with that point, I want to make the point that Pastor Kurt said I lied about him when I said there was a joint effort between them as Action SA, and then he proved that he joined Action SA 2024. Now, I was on the news. I didn't have much time. I couldn't unpack it. But I didn't lie. I didn't deceive. The point I was making is, in 2022, when that recording was spread, him and Darrelline already had a relationship. They already started to work together. And Darrelline lied to him that I was the MMC of health at that time. And she lied to him to say that the department that I'm running wanted to close his rehab. He believed it. He went on Facebook.
But was that true?
What?
No.
I proved it to him it's not true.
That you didn't want to close his
No,
rehab.
and if people can think very carefully, they'll remember that he then came to my office and we reconciled publicly on Facebook. We did a live. Where I then proved to him it's actually me that was driving the department to help him get accredited. So he believed the lie. And that was way in 2022. So he was not a formal member, but he was already working with Darrelline. And so even though they joined later Action SA, but you can still call it an Action SA agenda, and he assisted the agenda. That's why I made that statement. So I didn't lie about it. So I'm saying we shouldn't lie about each other. That's the last thing I want to clarify about Pastor Kurt. Because, and I love Pastor Kurt, because we have a genuine connection there because of our history in ministry, right? But if we have to sit like this, I'll challenge. But my joy now is that on party level, they made a statement, the party made a statement, his party, he's the deputy president of PMC, what is it called?
People's Movement for Change.
No, is it People's Movement for Change?
I think so. Yeah.
But his president, Fransman, Marius Fransman, made a public statement. And it seems like, which I believe it is because my president also spoke about it last night in his live.
Right.
He said, Marius Fransman, Fadil Adams, and Patricia DeLille said he cannot say anything bad about those people. We are standing together.
They were part of the ANC originally.
Yes, but in this instance, we're saying we are standing together. So it's clear to me when my president says that.
But remember also, sorry, that ANC is not this ANC. The one with
Mandela.
Mandela and Ellen Busak and those guys there.
Yeah.
It's now a different situation.
But what the point I want to make is once that comes out of my president's mouth, we are one. We are building together. The party that Pastor Kurt is from, Fadil Adams, good. That's colored leaders. They might be in different formations, but in our hearts and psychologically we are saying we're pushing the same thing. Push it in your vehicle. So I wish Pastor Kurt well. I wish his president well. Let them push for our people. Fadil Adams, let them push for our people. Patricia DeLille, let her push for our people in their formations, and us Patriotic Alliance, push for our people. And I want to encourage everybody that's listening to me. Start thinking politically. If you don't want to vote for the Patriotic Alliance, voor die Here. Voor die Here asseblief. If you think politically now, if you don't want to vote for the Patriotic Alliance, sisters, vote PA. We are for all South Africans. Vote the Patriotic Alliance. Why am I so passionate? Pastor Xavier, here's the reality. Why I'm so passionate about this. I know in my heart of hearts, if we don't win, if we miss this window period, we will have to wait another generation to get this opportunity again. And every party knows it. And another generation, in biblical terms, and another generation, in biblical terms, is not 5 years. It's not the next election we'll have another chance. It's the next 40 years we'll have this chance that we're having now. For 2026, 2027, when the local government election happens, and 2029. We miss this season, this window, to stand together. If we don't sit at this table with power, not like now, with little seats, but real power, we'll have to wait another generation. 40 years. And you know what? They will not just like they're doing with you now, throw your CVs in the dustbin. That's not just what they're going to do with your children. We must do it now. For me, and for the Patriotic Alliance, who's the best candidate? Clayton McKenzie. Why? Not because I love him, and I do. Not because he mentored me, and still mentoring me. No. Because of the logic, the reality. One, the anointing of God is upon his life. You can say what you want. He's not fighting Darrelline James. It's not Clayton McKenzie versus Darrelline James. It's Clayton McKenzie versus the system. They've paid an entire propaganda machinery to come against him. For who? He doesn't need the job as a minister. He had protectors before he became a minister. He owns cars that's far better than the cars they are giving them as ministers. He doesn't need this. Now ask yourself, why is he doing it? He's doing it for this country. He's the only qualified person. What is the three major things? We must end with this. What is the three major things that South Africa needs right now? The three major things. Safety and security. We must deal with crime, is it not? People want to be safe. 2, the economy. People want jobs. People want job security. They want opportunities for their businesses to thrive. 3, they want racial equality. What's the use you have a climate of opportunity, but your race still disqualifies you? So what kind of leader does this country need? This country needs a leader that understands crime so he can deal with it, that understands the economy so that he can build it, that is passionate about racial integration so that there can be equal opportunity. Who qualifies? Look at all the leaders. Who qualifies in all 3? Clayton McKenzie, number 1, crime. He's been there. The reason why they are doing these things, the drug cartels are running the show here, because they are fooling the leaders in politics, because those leaders doesn't understand the underworld. That's why they can fool them. But you can't con and ex-con. The only one that qualifies is Clayton McKenzie. He's a reformed prisoner. He's no longer involved in crime. You see, this is a blessing in disguise. Why? Because it now proves to the country they try to taint him and make him look like a criminal, but why are they not getting it right? Because the truth is he has really changed. So this is a blessing in disguise. And he's the only one that qualifies to really deal with criminality because he understands the underworld. The only president in this country that understands the underworld. 2, he's a successful businessman. He's built strong and big multi-million rand business. Over and over again. He understands the economy. Not just macro economy for big business. The beautiful thing about it is he's a grounds person. Where do you see Clayton McKenzie all the time? With the people, the poorest of the poor. So he doesn't just understand macroeconomics. He understands microeconomics too. He deals with the rand must be strengthened. He deals with inflation rate must be down. He deals with the fact that we must have enough money to pay our debts. He understands macroeconomics. But he also understands microeconomics. Why? He's with the people on the ground. He understands the price of bread being 20 rand. He understands that people don't care who the mayor is. People don't care who the mayor is. They just care that there must be water in their taps. They must be able to switch on the lights. That's what they care about. Clayton McKenzie understands that. He understands how people has to live and have to choose between, will I have my lights on today or must I buy a loaf of bread with this 20 rand? And then they have to decide either to sleep in the dark tonight and have a piece of bread, or not have bread and have the lights on, because when it's dark, it's cold. And these are the choices that people have to make on the ground. Who understands that better than anybody else? Clayton McKenzie, not just then, even now, he's in the houses of people. Look, it's everywhere on Facebook. Even now that he's a minister, where is he? They talk about what he brought. Westbury. Darrelyn said on the news the other day, why do you bring the army instead of building sports facilities for our people in Westbury? The first thing he did, go to Westbury. That sports facility that was neglected, he dealt with it. They are building that thing for them there. They are afraid because what they hoped for him to be, he's not. He's what God has ordained for him to be. So economically, he can do that for this country. Then racial integration for all races to be equal. We see it in our party. All races are getting equal opportunities in the Patriotic Alliance. Clayton McKenzie, racial integration because he's a colored man. Why is that important? Because for a black African man, for a white man, for an Indian man, racial integration is a good ideology because their DNA is white, black, Indian. Clayton McKenzie, within him biologically, is all races. That's what makes us unique as colored people. So for Clayton, for other leaders, for Steenhuisen, for Jacob Zuma, for Cyril Ramaphosa, for Malema, racial integration is a brilliant idea. It's a great ideology. For Clayton McKenzie, racial integration is a matter not of ideology, it's a matter of biology. It is who he is. Inside of him, all races are united. So when he looks down on a black African person, he's looking down on his mother. If he looks down on a white person, he's looking down on his great-grandfather, who's Irish. That's the complete package that God has given to us. But our own people is calling for hope, but they just don't want hope to look like them. Gayton looks like them, so they say, "Ek sien myself in hy man." So when you don't trust Gayton, here's the reality. You don't trust yourself.
Sure. Honourable Ashley Sauls, Koike, the first. So thank you for joining us today.
Yeah. It's only on this show that I get an opportunity to speak my heart.
Your whole heart. And again, thank you so much, man. There's a lot of comments there, but I hope everyone was reading through. Let's end the votes. We got 24 votes. And let's see what people say there for closing. And then give us the result. And yeah, man, thank you for coming through. I know you are all over the world. Is the recording fake? The vote for fake says yes, 62. And the balance for 38 is no, it's not fake.
I told you. Jay, I told you. Not 50-50. 60-40.
62-38.
62-38. Even worse.
Honourable Sauls.
Why did you say that so soft, my brother?
62-48.
Yes, the people has spoken. The people has spoken.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for participating in the conversation here. Guys, if I read more comments, we're gonna get into a whole nother conversation here.
And look out for Juera's thing. It's
live.
coming. Juera's expose.
Let me read this. Let me read this because I need to read it. Right. This is Larry Vary Jr. Right. In the event that the recording was hypothetically true, right? Then it says, what would you as Ashley Sauls do? Would you hold Gayton to account, or would you hold Gayton to account in the event that it is proven that the recording is indeed true? Yeah, that's basically his question.
That's a very, very smart question. You know, it's a question like the Pharisees asking Jesus, you know, are you the Son of God? Because they want people to hear, if he says the Son of God is blasphemy, they're going to crucify him. That's what Vary is doing. Now, I'm 10 steps ahead of Vary. Let's be clear. The things they want to put on Gayton is not true. So if I answer, well, I hold him accountable. As a matter of principle, you hold accountable. We as the PA, we hold you accountable for things that you do wrong. Our deputy president was found at the house once of Mulife. What did our president do?
He set him down.
Yeah, so let's be clear. I just want to tell you what our principle is. Because let's not deal with the character of Gayton, because that's what the question wants to do. It still goes back to the recording. When we are clear, why must we talk about something that's not true? But this is what he wants to do. So I want to rather deal with what's the principle of the PA when it comes to things that are wrong, no matter who it is. And we can prove it.
Including Minister McKenzie.
Including Minister McKenzie. There's no favorites. But we mustn't, I don't want to minimize it to the recording and entertain the direction that he wants to go. So let's deal with the principle of if anybody in the PA does wrong, how do we prove it? Gayton McKenzie says to the deputy president of this party, we believe you. Right? But the fact is you were there.
There's no dodging there.
There's no
dancing around.
Is it what?
He was there.
He was there. And ye say, oh, he was there. Now that you say you were there, there's a question hanging over you, my brother. You are my brother. But because of principle and what we want to build here, through trust, we remove you. Our deputy president was removed from party activity. Our deputy president had to resign as a councillor and as an MMC until the investigation independently was done. The investigation came back, he did no wrong. Now somebody will say, yeah, obviously, it's Mojele investigators. Okay, now if he did wrong, why is there no case against him? The police must have opened up a charge against him. So the independent investigation is then confirmed and verified by the fact that there's no case. That's why the police didn't open up a case against him. For the first time, a president has shown, not just with his mouth, he has shown there's no favorites in the PA. As ek moet geslag word, Clayton McKenzie is dan misslag. There's no favorites in the PA. Not
And
by
he has set you down before.
a lot of times, brah. I'm like, I get hiding, I get scolded, like
Blame trouble.
I blame trouble. You know what I mean? But do you see what I'm saying? So it is there. It is clear to be seen. The last thing I want to do with Vari's question is hypothetically, if the recording is true, you know what he should have done if he was as wise as he portrays himself to be? What he should have done is then say, hypothetically, if the recording was true, what does it say about? And he's a deputy president. He will have to deal with the vulnerabilities of so many people that he's going to be leading. For me now, to now hypothetically go into that is to further discredit the integrity of this man.
So it's a lose-lose either way.
And I won't do that. I won't entertain that. You see how you phrase the question? Be very careful. But I hope I've answered the principle of the question without entertaining the motif of the question.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. It's truly been an interesting, informative show. Honourable Sauls, thank you for coming, sir. See you on the next one. Thank you for the comments. Please don't forget to subscribe, also like, and let's continue the conversation. And again, this conversation doesn't have to end here. We can continue it. But thank you so much for joining us. See you on the next one. Love you. Goodbye.
Morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to it.
Good morning to the folks. What up to the youngins and bless up to the world.
And then Tay just put your info on blast like that.
It's what the people want to know, bro. My bad.
Nah, bro.